Diego, do you want to add?
I always want to add. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I think two issues. Yes, the colonists are colonists, and as Claire has said, they are there to change the demographics of the island. It is wrong that they are considered as Cypriots. It is wrong, in my opinion, in that will lobby, I'm sure, that they participate in referendums and things like that. Also, this notion about Cyprus, a settlement for Cyprus by the Cypriots, I also agree with you. It is not just a trap. I think it is a backdoor, devious ploy of exonerating Turkey from its crimes that committed against the Republic of Cyprus and its people, and all of a sudden we have reduced the Cyprus problem from one of invasion and occupation into a problem between two squabbling, and I said that earlier during my talk, between a squabble between, as one of the newspapers said it, two feuding, in other words, two crazy communities, which is not the case. We know that this is not the case. I was going to add one more point, that how we get out of that, I don't know. But at Lobby for Cyprus, during my time as a coordinator and even before, we have stacks of letters from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Every time you wrote to them there, we received letters which are carbon copies, almost, irrespective of which government is in place. They always start, we appreciate and acknowledge there are differences between the two communities in Cyprus. If we write to them about the missing persons, they will always say we acknowledge that there are missing persons from both sides. They have over the years tried to reduce the issue of Cyprus as a problem between the two communities. Why all of a sudden we accepted it ourselves and we made it as a slogan? I don't know.
Thank you, Diego. I'm going to take two questions at a time. I'm going to start from this side, and I'll go to that side and that side. So it's even. Again, and Dr. Miller.
There does seem to be an anomaly where there are natural movements, demographics, in the occupied area. We now have something like 45,000 Turkish Cypriots who are from families of settlers. Where do they stand? You talk about ethics, you talk about human rights. Would I be in breach of human rights if I actually tried to oust them legally from what is now their home?
Thank you. I do not know, thank you, Mr. Chairman, I do not know why Kyriakos stole my words on the issue of solution for Cyprus by Cypriots. But nevertheless, I just want to repeat it again and ask a question at the end of it, just 20 seconds. I totally agree that this idea that has been promoted, solution by Cypriots, for Cypriots, by whatever it is, Cypriots for Cypriots, solution by Cypriots for Cypriots, I think it was promoted by certain cynical powers in the international community to absolve Turkey completely of its responsibility, not to mention its crimes. And everybody knows that Turkey is not a Cypriot. Turkey has no part to play in the Cyprus problem. Therefore, anything that it or any responsibility. Therefore, anything that it does, really, it's out of its own goodwill. But the idea that the reason that this idea was promoted is because these people know that we have weak leaders in Cyprus. And they know that anything they give them, they will accept it. They know that we have weak politicians. Cyprus is very well known for its mathematicians, its medical doctors, its engineers, its scientists. But unfortunately, we don't have that many good politicians. And the cynical powers in the outside world know that.
Can we get to the question?
Yes, we can. So therefore, I'll ask my question. How can we get out of the trap of solution by Cyprus for Cyprus? Because we are very weak. We are not promoting the real issues of the problem. it was succinctly illustrated tonight that we have to base our fight on human rights, on the law, on justice, and so on. Even the indigenous, uneducated, almost insignificant, dare I say, I mean in inverted commas, because not many people know them, inhabitants of Diego Garcia have managed to get much further than us. Because they have based their struggle on the rule of law, on human rights, on justice, and equality. And we are not. We are basing it on reality, which gets us nowhere.
Thanks very much.
Yes, can I just respond very quickly to with regard to Agier's point. If an alleged settler has married a citizen of the Republic of Cyprus, then they're not a settler. That's why you can't treat the question of settlers in numerical terms. You need to articulate the principles under which the question of the settlers is to be resolved. The problem is, you see, we're falling into this trap of negotiating on things that we shouldn't be negotiating. We should be sticking to principles and inviting the other side to accept the principles as they are legally obliged to do because they're built into European Union law. And that helps answer the question of the gentleman at the back. I just go back to what Evribidi said 2,500 years ago. Each exiled person must bear the follies of his rulers. It's not a new concept.
Thank you. Can I take two other questions, please? Yes, from the left.
Can I ask?
Gary, no, before Gary.
Who?
Yes, go for
Ναι,
it.
θα μιλήσω ελληνικά.
Ναι.
Είμαστε όλοι Κύπροι εδώ. Εκείνο το οποίο ήθελα να πω είναι αναφορικά με τους επίκους. Είναι ίσως το μεγαλύτερο πρόβλημα το οποίο έχουμε να αντιμετωπίσουμε. Και έχω ακούσει τι έχει πει ο μιλητής προηγουμένως. Και το γεγονός είναι ότι όταν ήταν ο Τάσος ο Παπαδόπουλος και ήταν να εφαρμοστεί η διαδικασία της 8ης Ιουλίου, προεβλέπετο για να συμφωνηθούν οι επιτροπές των ομάδων εργασίας οι οποίες θα συζητούσαν τις διάφορες πτυχές του Κυπριακού. Εκεί που είχε σταλώσει η διαδικασία ήταν όταν ο Ναμή μαζί με τον αντιπρόσωπο των ξέχασε το δικό μας. Όχι, επιτάσου ήταν ο
Λίλικας.
ο Τζονής, ο Τάσος ο Τζονής. Δεν εδέχονται οι Τούρκοι επουδενή την δημιουργία επιτροπής επίκων. Και είναι εκεί που η δική μας η πλευρά επέμενε και ακριβώς ο ρόλος της επιτροπής επίκων ήταν, αφού γίνει αποδεκτόν το γεγονός, το θέμα της αρχής, ότι πρόκειται για settlers όποιοι και να ήταν, ότι ήταν παράνομοι, ήταν προϊόν εγκλήματος πολέμου, αυτή η Επιτροπή να ορίσει και τα κριτήρια, αν θέλετε, για να δει τις λεπτομέρειες της εφαρμογής του θέματος και εκεί που ελέγχθη ότι για λόγους ανθρωπιστικούς θα μπορούσε να γίνει αποδεκτός κάποιος αριθμός, αυτή η Επιτροπή θα εδέχεται και τις αιτήσεις, αν θέλετε, και θα εξέταζε μία-μία τις περιπτώσεις των επίκων. Άλλαξε μετά η κυβέρνηση και για να προχωρήσει η διαδικασία κλπ. Εδέχθηκε δυστυχώς ο νέος εκπρόσωπος της πλευράς μας, εδέχτηκε και έβαλε έναν αριθμό 50.000 χωρίς να υπάρξει επιτροπή, χωρίς να υπάρξει οτιδήποτε. Δεν έχουμε χάσει το argument αναφορικά με αυτόν το σοβαρό θέμα, με αυτήν την κίνηση.
We've been told that the present Prime Minister apologised about what happened in Northern Ireland. Do you think he will ever apologise for what happened in Cyprus, in the fact that should we ask for an apology?
Yes. I'll deal with that one first. Yes, it's up to us though. He won't do it. He won't do it out of nothing. In Northern Ireland, it took 38 years for the apology to be forthcoming. There was an inquiry, and the apology was a product of it, and it was part of a peace settlement. That was the key point. This wasn't out of the heart of the Prime Minister. It was partly out of his conscience on behalf of the state, but it was also part of a settlement. We need it in Cyprus as well, don't we? And we can draw lessons from Northern Ireland.